You are worthy.
Welcome in, Ninja. Static, you say? On the game? Is the game staticky? Sound alerts.
Move fast, baby, don't be slow. Step aside, reload, time to go. I can't seem to control all this rage that's inside me.
Yeah, listening to that one back on stream. I'll have to keep an eye on it. Anyway, let's go, shall we? How you doing, Ninja? Okay, so we want to go north of the Abyss. But it's probably worth, like, doing some other stuff. Did I miss a teleporter? What's been annoying about this week, Ninja? Is it the heat? Very warm. I guess it's a good thing we're streaming then, isn't it? So you can have a good end to the week. It is very warm right now. Yep. It makes me feel better, Ninja. Oh, the human city. You gonna bow? No, you just don't care. Alright. Oh, you are. Excellent. Open the door. No? Okay. I believe this place is entirely optional. Oh, I've got a fan. I've got a fan pointed at me right now. The biggest fan. I thought you were my biggest fan, Ninja. fancy. You just work it. I see how it is.
The human citadel. Its towering walls and deep moats engineered to keep Nosgoth's vampire plague at bay.
I mean, it's a good idea. Very few of the vampires can actually fly, and like, only a select few can swim.
Against vampires, its human architects hadn't considered a breach by a creature such as myself.
What? It's fortunate for the humans that I am benevolent. They've been worshipping me since I started beating humans. I shouldn't have gotten that achievement just then. I think the most distinctive thing about switching between the graphics is Raziel's eyes. Like, they have actual depth here and they're on full bright, like they always glow. And here, I never took the lines above his eyes in this game as, like, depth. I just took them as, like, eyebrows kind of thing. And they also, like, are just normally colored. That's probably something I'll need to phase through. I don't want a pipe. Which is fine. The Tomb Raider collection did that as well. Really nice facelift. I think the environment's probably aged better in the Tomb Raider remaster collection. While, you know, retaining the original game as it was, which is fine. Because really all I'm after with these is a better way of playing the original game. So stuff like the much faster load times, the camera control, all the good stuff that we're supposed to have with modern gaming added into these old games is really what I'm after. In Tomb Raider's case, like, just being able to save everywhere, that is some cleavage. Open palm, closed fist. Open palm, closed fist. It's like the difference between PS1 Spider-Man and Dreamcast Spider-Man. It's the same game, it's just that Spider-Man has fingers in the Dreamcast version. Make them bigger. It's important for the lore. The temperature's supposed to break tomorrow, so it should be, like, just generally better tomorrow. Okay, that water's just gone now. Take a look at the other forecast. Yeah, it was really heating up this week. Yesterday was like 30, 31 degrees. Okay. So I'm supposed to go down to 24 tomorrow, then 17 on Tuesday. And then maybe hold at 22. No, I think the way the winds work, it usually ends up going north. Which wouldn't make sense because you are southwest to me. He's gonna be alive because I drained the water, isn't he? Thank you. What am I doing? Alright. Don't worry. I'm a trained block puzzle expert. Hey, it's T. How you doing, Seek? Yeah, I told you I was an expert. Yeah, I think in terms of like horizontal positioning, we're more even with Canada than we are with most of the US. I think. I don't know, I'm not a geography expert. Wonder what this does. Amazing. That's right, I am a game expert. It's like the one thing I will actually claim to be an expert on. Was all of this just for that? Like Chance was saying earlier in his stream, like, look at this water. I don't think the remaster graphics has helped this. If anything, I think the original looks better. That can't have looked like this in the original game, surely. Alright, back out. But yeah, Chance was saying in his stream earlier, like, of the first 5 Final Fantasy games, like, he needs to try and work out what the best versions of them are. And I was like, just ask me. I've spent more time than is like really reasonable working out the best versions of various games. Later, fucker. Hello. You guys were worshipping me before. There you go. And you? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it helps other people. Like when Teak was trying to stream Final Fantasy 3 all those years ago. No, I don't, Teak. I keep telling you not to play the PC version. You're like, that's the version I own. And I'm like, emulate. Won't you put that evil on me? You make your own bed in that horrible mess. Yeah, I do actually still need to check out what you said about Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on PC. No, I spent my points on Sand of Time. You're the one saying that it has to be the PC version. There's nothing here. We'll be here when you get back, Ninja. Yeah, no, the best version of Sands of Time, I think, would, at this point, be playing the Xbox version on Xbox Series or Xbox One. That not being an option for you because you don't own an Xbox, I would say just, like, emulate the PS2 version. What is the purpose here? Listen, man, your platform column is your own business. Such an odd sequence, though. It's gotta mean something, but I can't think what. Oh. Alright. So, did you want a piece? Good work. That happens to you? Why are you in the midair? Oh, I didn't go this way. Did I? No, I don't think I did. There's a teleport around here, I know it. I can feel it in my bones. Stairs. Wonderful. There it is. So does this whole city exist for one piece of a health upgrade? It's possible, actually, thinking about it, with how much was cut from cut during the development of this game. It's entirely possible there was supposed to be more going on with this place, and it was just cut. Can I phase through these doors? I can. Gotta be a reason for that. Like, the city's had the regular wooden doors, and then up here is these doors. There's gotta be a reason for it. Well, going back here was a good idea just for that, because I didn't notice that wall before. Oh, it's Clem. Ah. Is this gonna lead to something, or is this just a waste of my time? Let's find out together. That's odd, because it's not showing me as having any stream issues at the minute, Clem. That didn't help. Switch. Curiouser and curiouser. How are you doing, Clem? Hello. Taking your thing.
With this artifact, your glyph energy capacity is increased.
Cool. Thank you. You mean macaroons? Or macarons? Nope. Nothing down there. That's 3 things I've found in this place now. Which is good. Is the odd smell you? Because of the heat? You smell bad because of the heat? Just showered, fair enough. Was it perhaps a new shower gel? You're not used to. Haha! Do it. Oh, where am I? It's interesting how the camera control completely stops when I'm in water. Right, Ninja? Oh, hey, a Rahab? A Rahabim? Gotta kill him. The humans thought they were safe in the water with the water moat. Turns out one of the swimmers came in anyway. I can't swim. Not macaroons. It's the smell. The smell. That's right. I started playing Path of Neo again in my own time, and like, that's a fucking janky game. Curious, like, you look at this and it's like, that looks kind of like Rita Repulsa. Now it looks kind of like hexadecimal. Rita Repulsa. Hexadecimal. Alright, there's a door to the side though. Thank you. It's my preferred thank you response gif. Is Smith saying thank you to Neo when Neo congratulates him on being freed from the system in The Matrix Reloaded just before the Burly Brawl. Do you know what the... See, you've got to know this just off the top of your head. What's the major connection Reboot has to this game? That's right. Tony J voices the Elder God and also voiced Megabyte. I say it's the major connection because chances are, like, other voice actors from this were also in Reboot at some point. Really? Because I find it very easy to believe he was voiced by Tony J. Those hands should absolutely hold me. It's just such a Tony J role. Though for the revival, he would have had to be voiced by somebody else. Because Tony J died in, I think, like 2005. So yeah, man, we do the we do Soul Reaver 2, and we were able to watch the outtakes afterwards, and like Tony J's such they're all fun. They're all fun voice actors, but Tony J is really fun. I think the most fun is probably Michael Bell. This wonderful story he tells in the behind-the-scenes stuff. Fair enough. The wonderful story he tells in the behind-the-scenes stuff of Soul Reaver 2, of like being given a copy of the game by, I think, Crystal Dynamics. So then he goes out and buys a PlayStation to play it, and just cannot figure out how to play it. It's kind of wonderful. Yeah, Tony J's been in a lot of things over the years. If you want a particularly nerdy thing that Tony J has been in, he was Lex Luthor's butler in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman. Hey, I don't think I was supposed to do that. Okay, so we're going up somewhere. No, we're not. We're going down. Remember, kids, I am a trained expert at block pushing puzzles. Don't try this at home. And then this will block the passage and fill the water. And I'll be able to get out through that other gap. Okay, so we're not getting out through a gap. I'm just gonna let water pour through there. Hey, Star. You changed your name on Twitch. I think Kain in RoboCop 2 was spelled differently. And, of course, by Kain you mean the titular RoboCop 2.
Once acquired, these glyphs empower you with elemental lore. Each spell exacts a sacrifice of energy, however. Use them sparingly and wisely.
Alright, let's get out of here. I feel like that's probably everything. How you doing, Star? The robot design's interesting. And the choice to have it just like grab Kain's girlfriend by the face and twist her head several times is a choice. It's an understandable choice from a movie that also brought you child murder. But yeah, Kain essentially stops being a character after he dies and becomes RoboCop 2. I do love, though, that RoboCop 2 has a character called RoboCop 2. It's funny to me. Oh, they're worshipping me. You know, because I'm so cool. And I'm filled with sexual vigor. They all do it. It is funny, Clem. Well, I think I've spent enough time here. Yeah, the answer's both. But then with that in mind, the question you've got to ask of RoboCop 3 is, does RoboCop 3 refer to the 3 Japanese robots? The Atomo units? This is my life. These are the things that I remember when I can't remember things that actually happened during the fucking day. This is on Steam. I'm currently playing the PC version of Soul Reaver 1 Remastered. Bitch. And I believe currently this is probably the best way to play the game. Damn it. Oh, teleport. What I should do real quick is, let's take a look on Nexus. See if there are any mods for this. Kain. Right now. And just some minor. This has been out for a while as well, so like there's probably not going to be much more. Meanwhile, the Tomb Raider Remaster collection had like quite a few mods that I didn't get. There was nothing major, but like there were a lot of mods. Not all of them were nude mods. Only 60% of them. I got a mod that makes Lara's hair ties yellow, which look quite nice. Changed the Tomb Raider title font from the US font to the European font, so that it's specifically catered to my nostalgia. I feel like there was a few other things, but it's been so long since I properly looked at it. I think the funny thing about killing that one by throwing the spear at him from so far away is that was one that had come back to life. You could see from the glow, like he had the yellow, he had the blue glow around him. So that's one that had died but hadn't had its soul destroyed, so the soul re-inhabited the body. And it's like, oh yeah, now I'm way more powerful. Just gets stabbed from behind, from like 20 feet away. Gains nothing from it. I feel like the PS1 snow texture is more appealing to me. And it's like, oh yeah, the low resolution, this is clearly snow. Understandable. At the high resolution like this feels like it's marble or something, like white stone. I don't think we're ever gonna see like a higher quality version of that snow texture from Metal Gear Solid. I don't think there's anything here right now. This is a curiosity too. I'll have to come back to that. Remember these old games where jumping constantly would just be faster than running? It's how you end up playing like a majority of Castlevania 64.
This city once teemed with the life of my kind. Could it be that other clans had suffered the same fate as mine? In his madness, could Kain spare none of his brood?
It was not Kain, but Duma's own arrogance that brought the downfall of his clan. These are human weapons, Raziel. Believing themselves invincible, Duma and his offspring failed to see an attack coming from the least likely assailants. Complacent in their arrogance, they were taken by surprise, allowing the human vampire hunters to decimate their ranks with little resistance. The few that escaped have been reduced to scavengers.
So Dumas dead then? If that's the case, why am I here? Could Duma have somehow escaped this genocide? Makes sense to be a lot of vampire wraiths roaming around this place. Going that way. Until I find my way back to the material realm. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I got slew on my tongue. Gonna need to find a way to open these gates. Elevator platform? Whatever it is, I'm probably going to need to dip back into the spectral realm to go through. Let's check out what's going on with this door. Close the door. Door. Ugh. It's not a door at all. What is it? Dead end. So, you know, we've been playing this for a while now, and I realize I haven't actually talked about what was considered the most impressive thing about this game when it came out. Which was the lack of loading time once you were in the game. Which was really cool. And it's a really cool selling point as well. However, when you think about it, the practicality of it is you just end up with long stretches of empty corridor, so the game can stream in like, new assets. But at the time, I think it was the first time anything like that had been done on a console. So it was kind of a big deal. I wonder if I'm going to jump straight into Soul Reaver 2 when I'm done with this. Be a bold move. Risky move. Soul Reaver 2 is a lot more streamlined than this is, though. Yeah, this is clearly a case of the statue points at the door that opens. So much possibility. I need to find a way to move things first. Because there's only the one portal. Let's figure this out. I should absolutely be allowed to say those. No, it's not gonna reach. You know, for a second there, I thought it was actually gonna work. The Oracle's Cave? Gotta be something I'm missing. Let's see how far back we have to go before we find another portal. Right, so it's here. As I can tell, it's not like there's a block or stone to pull out there. I need to get in through there. Unless it's the opposite way around. That's how I get out. Alright, let's try this direction again. There's another block. All there, but I can't get through there. And there's this, which again, I would need to be in the material realm to interact. Everything I need to be in the material realm for. Yeah, I can only do it when I'm in the spectral realm. Which is why I have to go through to this realm. And then try and find a way back to make more progress elsewhere. Again, this all suggests that this is my way back. And that I need to be here. My starting point in the material realm is somewhere beyond here. One upgrade away from a health increase. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll run an ad, grab a drink, and we'll come back and see if we can figure it out. We'll be right back. that's better. Welcome back. Oh, so look at this statue in PS1 graphics. Yeah, let's go. Oh. This was the answer the entire time. I was thinking on too large a scale was the problem, and completely forgot about pushing stuff like that. Now here we are. Alright, so let's solve this. Ow, you motherfucker. Might as well take the opportunity to see if anything's different up here in the spectral realm. No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, just make that with a regular jump. Okay. Figure out how we get through that. Later, fucker. What does this do? Oh, that's some bad graphical glitching. That was looking like when you set a 4x3 game to be widescreen when it's not supposed to be. And so what you're seeing is what's normally cold before it's loaded in. Alright, this is probably not going to be fun. Yeah, I can probably get 2 of these over there. Was doing it like this a mistake? No, this is the way it all needs to be done. Alright. And then we move this one in position so we can climb up, and this should give us enough height. Out through the top. There we go. I am a genius. Oh, come on in, Skeletonium. I would have done it last year, but I was only playing PS1 games last year, and I wanted to do the remaster. Those are distinctive markings in PS1 resolution. Probably dangerous. And Raziel just does not care. Welcome back, Ninja. I can't believe you would take time out of my stream to do that, Ninja. I'm here marinating in my own ragu for your entertainment. And you're like, oh, I'll go and check out a mod for Rev 2. For shame. Okay, did that activate the elevator? I can't necessarily disagree with that, Skelly. Though I do like the definition on Raziel's eyes in the remaster versus the original. I think the PS1 visual is more consistent than the Dreamcast one, though. Right, so this blew open the door. What has it actually got on? I had access to that area anyway. Yeah, let's just do it again. Why not? Okay, that just clearly cut off that cutscene before it was supposed to end. There was a Digital Foundry retro episode from several years ago now that was quite interesting. That went through, like, the history of the development and what the best way to play this game was at the time. And it was kind of fascinating. And the PC version was interesting. Though, was badly in need of an update. Their takeaway, if I recall, was the best way to play it at that time was emulate the PS1 version. Where the fuck am I? Although I think a big part of that was because Dreamcast emulation wasn't great at the time. They were using Flycast, and that's only recently gotten particularly good. Welcome in, Panda. Yeah, Redream's what I generally use. If I'm doing anything with Dreamcast, I'll use Redream. This isn't where I wanted to go, is it? There's quite a few PS1 games that are just nice to play on Dreamcast. Before I got the PC versions, it was my preferred way to play Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3. Oh, look at how much taller I am. But yeah, now that the remaster's out though, like, great. More people can play this. That's what I'm always advocating. The casual player to be able to just play these good games. Not everybody is willing or able to take the time to learn how to deal with emulation. Let's figure this out. I figured it out. Motherfucker. That go backwards when I transition? No, it stays in the same place, so I've just fucked up the jump. There we go. Excellent. And making progress. I can absolutely understand that. I also played this as a kid. I think this was, I said last time, probably the first game I was actually excited for coming out. Following it through demo disc releases and such. And it definitely left a mark. A lot of my interest in storytelling comes from the Legacy of Kain series. Though it helped that I had already played... Oh well. Blood Omen by that point. Bye-bye. Oh, I missed. There we go. And what about you, good sir? There we go. Have this back. I think in terms of the gameplay design, Soul Reaver is definitely the most interesting of the Crystal Dynamics developed games. And down we go. Property damage. We're finally here.
My brother, Dumas, a powerful warrior in life. He would have burned with shame to have me find him here like a stuck pig.
Come to save my soul, prodigal brother.
Not to save it, but to take it. Your only salvation is release.
That was mean. Don't be that way, Duma, you dick. Yeah, before I actually set about doing this, though, there will be some setup involved. I think it's a really interesting thing that Dumas is impaled the same way you've been impaling a lot of these vampires. And his spirit is just trapped in the spectral realm. But presumably he's been there for so long that he has grown quite powerful there. And so he can't be taken out like a normal vampire wraith. You look at these statues and like, these are clearly PS1 statues. On.
Unbound at last. I thank you, brother.
Your thanks are premature, Dumas. I have not forgotten whose hands bore me into the abyss.
The centuries in Limbo have honed my strength. Not even Kain is my equal.
Even the strongest vampire is vulnerable.
We shall test your thesis, Raziel.
My bloodthirst has been superseded by an even darker hunger. I will consume your soul before this day is done.
Anyway, see ya. He's actually one of those bosses that we can't kill normally. I say that, but like, we've not been able to kill any boss normally. That's why they've been bosses. Well. To be fair, like, I think like all of Raziel's brethren get very little characterization. The one who probably gets the most is Terrell. Even that's not much. Come on. This. You think it's fireproof? Do you think it's explosion proof? And that makes 4.
Consuming Duma's soul empowers you to wind a constricting band of spectral energy around your enemies. This energy manifests itself in both the spectral and material realms, and in the physical world, it can be employed to manipulate otherwise immovable objects.
So this is, I think, the only ability Raziel gets in this game that doesn't return in the sequels. Yeah. Like, even the Tomb Guardian, who's just like a random nobody, gives us telekinesis, which returns in... It's very important in Defiance. I can't remember if it's in Soul Reaver 2. Dumas gives us the constrict ability and doesn't really amount to much. Alright, let's get out of here. But if you've been keeping count, though, that means you should realize now that there is only one brother left.
In the furthermost canyon of Nosgoth's frozen wastes, the hushed silences embrace an ancient enigma. In the bowels of this labyrinth, your master awaits.
There was only Terrell and Kain. Okay, so you just can't kill stealthily with the Soul Reaver. Is there a weapon here? Alright, come on. Getting a little premature there. Fortunately, we have the Fire Reaver. I've just not used it at all. There we go. I think the biggest disappointment with Defiance is the camera. Because, like, Soul Reaver 2 is way more linear than this game is. And Defiance is, I'd say, probably more so than Soul Reaver 2 even was. But you really feel it with Defiance because of the camera. The fixed camera. And it is a shame, because the combat is probably the best of the entire series. Though in execution, the whole thing ends up feeling way less interesting. Yeah, it's a pretty solid hack and slash, which is good considering the amount of combat they make you do in it. So if you're a Legacy Kain fan, you'll recognize this symbol. If you've already played Blood Omen. I'll say this place is nowhere near as frustrating to navigate as it was in Blood Omen. Yeah, I've definitely played worse hack and slashes. Though it does become very tiresome. Probably by like the mid-game, how often the game locks you into a room with like 2 boss enemies. Especially when you're going through the shrines. Oh, that's interesting. That definitely wasn't there before, was it? A little bit. Yeah, I can absolutely understand that. I think both Soul Reaver 2 and Defiance do start to feel kind of tiresome by the end. And it's because of the repetition, more than anything else. The Elemental Forges in 2, and the Forges in 3, plus the Vampire Shrines that Kain has to go through as well. It feels like you're doing a lot of the same thing over and over in both. And it's really fortunate that the story really starts to pick up by those points. Could this be a mural of the Hilden Savior? Yeah, I can agree with that. I think as a gameplay experience, Soul Reaver 1's probably the most enjoyable one. Because you can lose yourself in the exploration and the whole thing. And like I say, with Soul Reaver 2 being much more linear, you're gonna lose something with it. I think the one that's probably aged the best in terms of gameplay experience that hasn't been hurt by age in particular is Blood Omen. OG Blood Omen. It's just probably a harder sell overall. And a good amount of that is due to just jank. Oh, absolutely. I've been advocating for it for quite a while, actually. Yeah, that's clearly what I missed. Yeah, I've been advocating for it for quite a while. games that don't take forever to beat. And every experience has to be a lifetime. Another question. How do this? It is definitely one of the advantages of retro gaming. Going back to the retro stuff. Okay, so I know what I have to do. And I've just figured out how to do it. Got it? It's such a simple solution. I'm just going to take a few minutes. But yeah, I'd rather have a game that lasts like 5 hours, but I'm entertained for all 5 of those hours, than like a 40-hour game where I'm bored for most of it. Absolutely. The experimentation is something we lost in the transition to HD. The PS2 is great for it as well. Yeah, the PS2 is great for it too. Back when games didn't have to sell an absurd amount to be profitable. So you could make risks. I think it's also probably like one of the lesser recognized casualties of the death of dedicated handheld gaming. Because when we moved into HD, there's like the DS and the PSP were there for those weirder or esoteric experiences. Yeah, stupid bitch. And now, like, a lot of that's just not there. The most likely place you'll get any of that is the indie scene, and even that's kind of like, Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. Now, my preferred era of gaming ends up being PS2, GameCube, Xbox, entirely because like the experimentation was still there, but things were a little more refined than on the PS1. Like, controls were generally better and such. Did I need to go through the... motherfucker just doesn't learn. Going back to get my stick. Yeah, ultimately, my end game with video games at this point, and has been for a while, is like once modern gaming becomes unbearable or unfeasible, just entirely devote myself to retro gaming. I'm most of the way there as it is. Yeah, absolutely. The PS2 era has some of the the most absurd, insane, absolute banger. It's a fucking turning thing. Absolute banger, 6 out of 10s. Some of the weirdest stuff that's just so much fun. I don't think this will have done anything. Nope. Plus, as a fan of JRPGs, it was kind of where the genre hit its final peak and then really started to die. And it's only really in recent years that we've started to get solid JRPGs return in the bigger gaming space, outside of the indie stuff that's always inspired by Chrono Trigger. And it's like, I love Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is a fantastic game, not why I'm called mecha-chrono. Coincidence. Chrono Trigger is a fantastic game, but I don't need every game to be Chrono Trigger. So whenever a remaster or something like this comes along, I'm always super supportive of the effort. Is this going to work? Let's find out. I've spent so much time stabbing dudes in this game. That was not worth it. Yeah, I don't need to fight fair with these guys. There are moments in this game where I remember one of the cheats for the original PlayStation version that let you just shift between material and between spectral and material realms anywhere. Boy, do I miss that at moments. You goddamn turn. Yeah, it's very understandable. I don't think major efforts for localizations into non-English languages for JRPGs began until Final Fantasy VIII. Even then, that wasn't great. As the Final Fantasy VIII localization into everything other than English was based on the English translation, rather than being done directly from the original Japanese. For me, it was probably a big contributor of learning to read generally. Don't know where that just opened. Yeah, people always forget to give credit to video games when it comes to reading comprehension. You mind, sir? It was back here. I don't want to go into that in the material realm. You know what? You're getting the stick.
The Oracle's Cave, where Kain's first fateful meeting with Mobius occurred. Mobius played the role of a doddering soothsayer, stirring his pot of visions while dispensing enigmatic predictions to gullible visitors. Underneath the facade was Mobius the Time Streamer, sorcerer of the Circle of Nine, a ruthless manipulator with the power to bend time. Since his murder at Kain's hands centuries ago, these caves have stood vacant, though, like Mobius himself, they are rumored to be only a facade for a much larger, more elaborate complex. I sensed that Kain was here, and at that moment, I would have plumbed the depths of hell to find him.
To be fair, Mobius deserved to die. Ran prick Mobius. So at this point, his schemes in Blood Omen are all that really exist. So those of you who haven't played the series through probably don't understand the hatred for him. Not yet. Once we hit Soul Reaver 2. So this was the goal of everything. That is actually a ceiling, it's just... To be fair though, it's all worth the payoff when we get to Defiance. Okay, that's just a seam. Misaligned texture. Oh. Only on one side as well, like, look at that. It only exists in the remaster graphics. Yeah, that's definitely a very good point. Nobody trusts him, but he's so good at manipulating everybody anyway. Well, I suppose young King William the Just probably trusted him. What am I missing? On the fucking ground. An idiot. The cutscene had a goddamn close-up of it. An idiot.
This, I deduced, must be the man himself, the time streamer, Mobius. He seemed not at all the impressive figure I had imagined from Kain's boasted exploits. And yet, even this cold image radiated a certain undeniable power.
So, Mobius, I believe... Kain appears most in the series, appearing in all 5 games. I believe the character that appears the next number of times is a tie between Mobius and Vorador. Though really, Vorador appears more. Need to find a solution to this puzzle before we mess with it. Because Vorador appears in Blood Omen, Blood Omen 2, Soul Reaver 2, and Defiance. It actually has full physical presence in those. one of the games Mobius appears in, he only gets a very brief voice cameo. Yeah. Blood Omen 2 is actually my favorite. And like a lot of it is admittedly due to nostalgia. I have it on GameCube, and I've probably played it the most. I really enjoy it. I think it's half of a really strong game with a really good aesthetic, and half of a fine game. It was really that simple. I imagine it's for parity between Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2. Though you can just turn it off, which, you know, is really nice. Soul Reaver 2 has it as well. Yellow. I'm gonna have to do full theory. Red. Red and blue, probably. Yeah, there it is. Probably fine to just do that. Just hear Kain's voice echoing from the depths. Raziel, get down. I did not enjoy Dark Souls 2, I'll be honest with you. But I do really enjoy Blood Omen 2. It is, like I say, it's probably my favourite. But it is definitely one of those things of like, it's worth playing yourself to get your own opinion on. Ultimately, probably its single biggest problem is that it's kind of pointless to the story. It gives you a couple of extra details that make things in Defiance make a little more sense, and that's about it. But they're not like big important details that you needed to know. But I just generally really love Blood Omen 2's aesthetic. The whole steampunk vibe it has going on is really appealing. Alright, so red is Kain. Yellow is Malkaya. Yeah, definitely give credit to Crystal Dynamics for the setup of Soul Reaver. Bringing you in as a different character. Really giving players the chance to experience the world newly. Even for returning players, like, the game's set so far ahead of Blood Omen that it's not the world that you know or remember. Like, little bonuses for having already played through Blood Omen, but nothing essential. Which is the way it should be done. Alright. Try that again. Yeah, I think a game like this definitely works better when it kind of gently encourages new players to experience the previous installment, but doesn't require it. Especially given that when this came out, it had been 4 years since Blood Omen. And in those days, 4 years was a lifetime in video game development. Yeah, Michael Bell. He plays the leader of the... It's been a while since I've watched Encounter at Farpoint. He plays the leader of the aliens, and he's in makeup, but you can still visibly see that it's Michael Bell. He's also in Metal Gear Solid 3 as the Fear. A very prolific voice actor, done a lot over the years. No, not yet, Ninja. Was that there previously? Was. Right. Can I make that? Yeah, this has been fun for me going through this because it's been so long since I've actually sat down and gone through the Legacy of Kain series. I was planning to do it last year when I was streaming like nothing but PS1 games all year last year. But then the remaster got announced and it was like, you know, I should just do that version. Here we are, finally. Not gonna work. If that had worked, I'd have been honestly quite irritated. I was muted. Yeah, I feel like there wasn't an intention when I started this stream to be primarily retro games. You cheeky dick waffle. I'm gonna need a weapon. That's why, Ninja. Yeah, the specific intention I had when I started the stream was RPGs. Because at the time I was still doing the Let's Play channel. It was like RPGs would be. The stream would be good for RPGs, be easy to deal with. The longer form content. But like, as I gave up the Let's Play channel, or just Let's Plays generally, the stream just kind of became like the entire thing. And a general lack of interest in a lot of modern releases. coupled with like a large focus on wanting to replay a lot of stuff that I haven't played in years. And play new stuff that I haven't played that I've been meaning to play. It was kind of natural that we'd gravitate towards being primarily a retro stream. Yeah, you're probably right about that. For me, though, doing the Let's Plays was essentially the same motivation as doing the stream. It was to get me to sit down and actually play games. I was having a very hard time focusing on just playing video games. It was really frustrating. Because I enjoy playing video games and I couldn't. Alright, we have an ad coming up that we need to run. So we'll run this ad and go grab a fresh drink. And I think we'll finish the game when we come back. You might be like, seems kind of out of nowhere that we're going to finish the game here. And you'd be right. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. I pressed the wrong button. We're back. Alright, let's do this puzzle. Yeah, so I'm going to need the other 2 blocks, undeniably. I tell you, the Stream Deck has been like the biggest value purchase that I've made for the stream. Yeah, I think the big problem I have is choice paralysis. No, even with the stream, like, it comes with its own caveats. Like, I'll sit down and I'll start playing a game and be like, is this what I want to spend my free time doing? Like, this game in particular? And then I'll quit after, like, 20 minutes and just sit there and not do anything. It's incredibly frustrating. Alright, I think I have an idea. You know what, I don't even have an idea. We had the solution earlier. Never needed to go into the spectral realm. Need to remember that. I can just do that. But yeah, using the stream as a focus. No, let's talk about the caveat, like the potential issue. There's a significant number of games that I put off playing at this point, specifically so that when I stream it, it can be my first reaction to playing it. I feel like you guys would be interested in that, rather than like playing it a second time, seeing my second reaction. Like, that's an issue in itself. Flip 2 of these blocks. Alright, so we know this is where we want to put this. We know this is where we want to put this. This is bigger circle. So I've been playing this game for quite a while now. I've only just realized I don't need to be flipping these blocks up like that onto other blocks to rotate them. All I've been doing is slowing myself down. That's cool. I think generally going into streaming, a lot of people have the expectation that they're going to get something out of it. And that's almost categorically not true. I'm quite lucky. I have a fan base, or I have a community, is probably the better term, of people that I've been lucky enough to build up. And they're great. And these people will come and watch me regularly and interact with me, and that's great. Every now and then I get a little bit of a kickback off Twitch out of that, and that's great. But I've been very lucky with that, for the small amount I have. And I think the thing a lot of people don't get is you're probably not going to get anything. That's a cross. Probably not going to get anything out of it like that. So, in that regard, I think the most important thing you can do when streaming is play things your way. And be there for you. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, there are people who will put on, like, the retro tag. I always prefer to put the specific game I'm playing on the tags. On the game title and such. There are some people who just put retro, and that pulls in a lot of viewers for whatever. Puts me off, personally. But I'm a weird guy. And, like, there's a lot of games you could play that just wouldn't be appealing to specific people, to a lot of people anyway. I was talking about this in a friend's stream yesterday. One game I streamed at one point that I really enjoyed was East Origin. It's a lot of fun, I really enjoyed it, I enjoyed the series. And I did 4 sessions of that game, and pretty much all of those sessions had nobody in them. And so, like, you end up with the thing of, like, you've got to realize that you're streaming for yourself and nobody else. If you get viewers and people in there to talk to, great, absolutely fantastic. It's a bonus. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be sat there with nothing and nobody but yourself. You've got to make sure you're enjoying yourself. Oh, fucking hell. This was right here. Alright, so you triangle. Holy hand grenade. You triangle, holy hand grenade. I mixed them up. Yeah, I don't look for streamers anymore. I don't have the time to watch the streams that I follow. Cross is you. Only hand grenade. Yeah, I don't have the time to watch like, all the streams that I follow. I actually culled my follow list a couple of weeks ago. Because I wasn't watching enough of them, too many of them I just stopped watching. Or like some of them had just stopped streaming and moved on with their lives and so on and so forth. Things happen. Life goes on. But I've never really been overly into streams that have more than like 10 people. Because then, like you say, you're losing the interaction. Like when I used to search for new streamers to follow, I'd do it through, like, by game. Are they playing something I'm interested in? The Legacy of Kain series is actually how I found Magic, who is a good friend of the stream at this point. Great dude. Streams great content. And Magic didn't really have anybody in there. And it's like, okay, I'll check out this stream with nobody in it. And Magic's a great dude, and we've been friends for like several years now. He's a VIP in my stream, I'm a VIP in his stream. Both very supportive of each other. And like those streams, I think, are just generally the better ones to go for, rather than these big names or these people who have like so many followers, so many people in the chat.
In this miserable age. What trickery is this?
It is no illusion, Raziel, but a glimpse into the currents of time itself.
See, I think 50 people is too much. Personally, I would say like 25, 20 is too much. But that generally depends. Like, you'll see streams where it's like 20 plus people, and there's maybe 2 people chatting.
My arrival in this miserable age. What trickery is this?
It is no illusion, Raziel, but a glimpse into the currents of time itself.
Okay, so that's when we arrived. It's the start of the game.
These apparitions torment me. Has this all been foretold?
The moment when Kain broke the Reaver upon me, became bound to it.
Impossible. This must be one of Kain's deceptions.
When Raziel discovered his origins. The way the sound has been hitching over the last two visions has me a little worried, and I realise we've not saved since we started the stream.
My mind reels with conflict. Does Kain await me moments from now? Or in some century yet to come?
So that's the future, because that's not happened yet.
This cannot be. What madness does this scene portend? Kain must think me credulous to suffer these lies.
Striking down Ariel, the Reaver becomes imbued with her spirit.
Is this phantasm a conjuration of my mind, or an echo of future events?
You'll notice the Reaver looks different again. Blood red with a dark center. Definitely want to use this. Yeah, I think the grander scope allowed by being able to do more games is far more interesting than the original intended ending. I honestly can't disagree. Oh, hey, Leno's raiding. Oh, come on, Leno.
At last. I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner. Tell me, did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
No. I had faith in you. In your ability to hate. In your self-righteous indignation.
Lies. You cannot have foreseen all of this.
Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge. To know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never have contained such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Gazing out across the plains of possibility, do you not feel?
Yeah, they do cut a good amount of it out, though.
Like gods. And as such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands.
Plus, it's harder to hear the specifics of the dialogue
That is why
in Soul Reaver 2's
when I
opening.
must sacrifice my children to the void, I can do so with a clear heart.
Very poetic, Kain. But in the end, you offer no more than a convenient rationalization for your crimes.
We're basically at the end, Lena.
These chambers offer insight for those patient enough to look. In your haste to find me, perhaps you have not gazed deeply enough. Our futures are predestined. Mobius foretold mine a millennium ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. We are compelled ineluctably down preordained paths. Free will is an illusion.
I have been to the tomb of Seraphan, Kain. Your dirty secret is exposed. How could you transform a Seraphan priest into a vampire?
To be fair, it's kind of funny.
How could I not? One must keep his
Yeah,
friends
thanks for dropping in,
close,
Lena.
Raziel, and his enemies
It was all good night, buddy.
even closer. Can you grasp the absurd beauty of the paradox? We are the same. Seraphan and vampire. With our holy wars, our obsession with Nosgoth's domination, who better to serve me than those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
I will not applaud your clever blasphemy. The Seraphan were saviors, defending Nosgoth from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are opened, Kain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
Yeah, I
You may
love
have
Kain as a
uncovered
character.
your past, but you know nothing of it.
Like,
You think the
especially older
Seraphan were
Kain.
noble, altruistic.
Soul Reaver era Kain. Absolutely
Don't
fantastic.
be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours.
You are lost in a maze of moral relativism, Kain. These apparitions and portents.
And getting to play as this
What
older
game
Kain
are
in
you
Defiance was
Destiny is a game. is it
absolutely
not?
wonderful.
And now, you await my latest move.
Alright, here we go. Oh, bullshit. Gotcha. Ow. You want to talk about Kain being smug? Probably my favorite moment in the series is the moment in Defiance when he smiles. It's so good. Well, I'm not going to spoil the context of that.
You nearly had me, Raziel.
Not for the people who haven't played it.
But this is not where or how it ends. Fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds completely.
You're slipping badly. Love it.
Be warned, Raziel. Once you cross this threshold, you are beyond my influence.
Alright, peace out.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time-span soul. Welcome to your destiny. Where time is but a loop, a loose stitch in the universal cloth. A streamer might seize upon a chance, a fatal slip, and plunge the fate of planets into chaos.
And that's Soul Reaver.
No! No!
Now imagine you're playing this in 1999 and you get to the end and this is what you get. Thank you, Teak. So let's talk about those visions we had in the Chronoblast. Those visions are part of the originally intended ending for this game. Kain faces Raziel, because we know what the original intended ending was, what was supposed to come after this. This is because they ran out of development time. Kain faces Raziel in the time stream chamber and absorbs a piece of his soul. Not all of it. Kain escapes. Raziel hunts down the final brother, the one that we haven't actually gotten to, Terrell. At some point, he absorbs Ariel's soul into the Reaver. The exact details of that aren't clear, because like you can see in the vision, Raziel clearly strikes her down. Using the power he's gained from Terrell, Raziel chases Kain to his mountain retreat and finally kills him and absorbs his soul, which is what turns the Reaver the dark red with the black center. The yellow Reaver is referred to as the Aerial Reaver, the red one is referred to as the Kain Reaver. And in the original game, you can unlock those, you can make the Reaver do that with cheats. They have no special properties. You just essentially end up recoloring the Reaver. And then Raziel would climb to the highest point, using the ability he gained from Kain. He would climb to the highest point of the Silence Cathedral where we fought Zephon and play the sound that it was built for, which was intended to kill all the vampires in Nosgoth, and it does. And that is what we know of the original ending. Because they had to put down a significant amount of it, you're probably looking at least a third of the game cut. they end here and set up a cliffhanger with the second game, bringing Mobius is back. Mobius the Time Streamer, which it helps that they've already just introduced the idea of Mobius just before this sequence, so you do know who it is, even if you've never played Blood Omen. And then the series goes on, and the lore of it expands greatly. And ultimately, it does become a much more interesting story as a result. So at the time, to be continued, awful, sucks, terrible. But in hindsight, Legacy of Kain became what we all know and love today, what the fans know and love today, because of this cliffhanger ending, and it gets, story and lore-wise, so much better. I don't know so much a happy accident as the team doing really good work with what would be the term? Making lemonade out of lemons, I guess. Really good work with it. Absolutely, Skelly. Like, I forgot, before going back into this, how light Soul Reaver actually is on story. Thank you, Ninja. Like, pretty much everything I adore about Legacy of Kain's story really kicks off with Soul Reaver 2. I don't appreciate how these credits spoil the voice cast for Soul Reaver 2. That's a mistake. All of it was scrapped. But one of the cool things we have with the remaster is the lost levels, which I believe all of these are from the first game. 25 years ago, I fell in love with Soul Reaver. Setting, story, characters, art direction, high quality voice acting, and seamless open world raised the bar for gaming in the late 1990s. I knew even before I started playing that significant parts of the story and game world had been removed in order to meet release date. Soul Reaver really resonated with me. I wanted to discover as much as I could about that deleted material, and I treated it as one last puzzle, more difficult than any of those in the game itself. For almost 2 decades, those of us with an interest in Soul Reaver's unfinished original ending assumed we'd uncovered just about everything we were ever likely to see with our own eyes. We assumed that Crystal Dynamics still had at least some of it stored safely away, but such things are rarely shown to the public by any studio or publisher. I'm very happy to have been proven incorrect in this case. The remastered version of Soul Reaver was made by people who love the game at least as much as I do, and they've gone to unprecedented lengths. This version of Soul Reaver you're playing right now contains an absolute wealth of other, never-before-seen bonus material. But beyond that, the developers used material saved by Soul Reaver's original creators to build an authentic, explorable versions of formerly lost parts of the game world. Fans new and old can finally see with their own eyes where Raziel's journey would have taken him in the original conclusion. So the Undercity, I believe, it's odd that they don't have specific descriptions for these. I believe the Undercity was a scrapped part of the human city where there would be a cult that worships vampires. Oh, there we go. The human citadel in Soul Reaver originally featured an extensive subterranean area that became accessible after Raziel's second battle with Kain. The Undercity was home of a vampire-worshipping human priestess and her followers. Defeating her would have granted Raziel the ability to control the minds of most human and vampires. Save feature isn't available. Abilities, glyphs, and Reaver achievements are unlocked by default. Raziel can shift material around without need of portals. Press LB to reset Raziel's position. Let's take a look. I've never properly looked into any of this. And we can't change to remastered graphics. So I've never really looked into any of this. The cut content of the ending, I have. Years ago. But any of the stuff included in this, I haven't. Like, I've never seen any of this. Yeah, the world definitely feels bigger than it needs to. The inclusion of the human city adds world building to the game. Oh, humans do still exist and they do still fight the vampires however they can, beyond just the occasional vampire hunter. This is the kind of thing I'd really want to see if we ever got a remake. Like, there was the talk before the remasters were announced that we were possibly going to be getting a remake of Soul Reaver. I'm glad we didn't. But, like, if we ever did, this would be the kind of thing I'd want to see. The game as was originally intended. It's like with Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 4 Remake. Like, they came out pretty well as they are. I think it's a real missed opportunity that they didn't try and remake the original concepts for the games. It's an interesting point, Skelly. The possibility that anything could be missed beyond, like, just occasional secrets. Something that really disappeared for a while because with how much development time everything takes, like, everything has to be viewable. So on the Discord, if you look on the Discord, Ninja, because like you might be interested in this now. A while ago in the general channel, Flame shared the no-clip documentary on Soul Reaver, and it's really interesting stuff. And like, I think a bunch of the reason why they were able to get a lot of this stuff rebuilt was because, as the documentary details, essentially all of the content, all of the documented files and game stuff and the source code and stuff, possibly not the source code, I'd have to double check, it was all kept in boxes and essentially just given to somebody for digitization, I think. So like they just had all of it. Like, the documentary's really interesting about all of that stuff and the work on rebuilding the game for this remaster. I think this is it. Oh, the warp gate? Which I was at, wasn't I? Like, there's not going to be 2 warp gates. Though it's curious that this warp gate doesn't have a door that leads to it. But that also means that the priestess boss room is somewhere around here. And she'd be like the only human boss. She is, there's her model. Yeah, the thing did say that. Like, that'd be the result of absorbing her soul, being able to control humans and vampires. Which is probably something I'd read previously, but a very long time ago. Yeah, defeating her would have granted Raziel the ability to control minds of most humans and vampires. The smokestack. After exiting the Undercity, Raziel would have travelled to the massive fortress of his final remaining brother, Tyrell. In Tyrell's lair, Raziel would have earned an enhanced telekinetic ability, then used towering central smokestack to reach Kain's mountain retreat high above Nosgoth landscape. Let's take a look at this. So the smokestack is something mentioned in the game proper. I think in passing. Because you've got the line that Raziel has when he first encounters vampires in the game. Of like, fledglings are weak to sunlight, direct sunlight. And you think, if that's the case, then why don't they burn all the time? And the idea is that Kain's empire set up a massive smokestack that essentially blots out most of the sky with smoke. And that's what this would be. I don't know. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. All this stuff is included. Gives people just like one place to see it all, rather than having to search across the internet for what people have managed to scrounge up. But I think the remaster itself offers the opportunity for new fans to come in, which is always a really nice thing. Like, maybe we'll see new people coming in clamoring for the rest of the series to be remastered after this. We could just get like a lot of new fans. You never know. Hopefully. Who knows what this does? Yeah, this is where I just quit. And Tyrell's audience chamber. And this would be Tyrell as he was intended. Oldest of Raziel's brethren, second only to Raziel himself.
Let me pass, Tyrell. I have enough blood on my hands today. My quarrel lies with Kain.
Poor Raziel. Your rage blinds you to the bond of gratitude that we owe our master.
Gratitude? Toward one who would have you grovel at his gate like a dog? You once had noble aspirations, Tyrell. Now, how humbled are your goals? Do you prosper on the scraps he casts you?
Your insults will do nothing to
Oh, there are
blunt the
subtitles all of a
agonies your
sudden?
demise.
You killed me once. Behold the result. I have no more to fear from you.
I think the most interesting part about this exchange is how Raziel seems willing to just pass by Terrell. I've not heard that dialogue in a long time. Kain's retreat. Kain's personal keep, perched on the mountaintops between Terrell's fortress and the Silence Cathedral. In this sprawling, deleted area, Raziel would have fought enhanced members of every vampire clan before his final battle with Kain. With the Reaver's power amplified by Kain's soul, Raziel would then discover a bridge connected directly to the top of the Silence Cathedral and used its titanic pipe organ to destroy every remaining vampire in Nosgoth. And that would be the end of the game. It's odd that it keeps starting us in the spectral realm. Sassy Raziel, a lot of fun. Really is. So sick of everybody's shit. Skelly, have you ever looked up Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, I think it is? The first Lara Croft game? There's nothing there. It got a few bits of DLC that replaced Lara Croft and the other player character with other characters owned by Eidos. Like Kain and Lynch, but most interestingly, Kain and Raziel. And they reuse dialogue from the Legacy of Kain series for the story, but it's worth looking up because a lot of it is very funny. Yeah, I didn't play the game beyond the demo because it's not my kind of thing. I'm not into twin-stick shooters. But I've seen some of the cutscenes and they are quite funny. How elaborate a lot of this is. Like, this is really cool from, like, a documenting perspective. Oh, they won't let me go over there now. And the Forges, the final one. Reaver was originally designed with 6 elemental enhancements for the Reaver. In addition to fire, Raziel would have discovered forges that allowed him to imbue the weapon with sunlight, water, stone, sound, and spirit energy using environmental sources scattered throughout the game. Yeah, as much as Defiance still leaves room to continue, and it was absolutely clearly intended to, of all the games, it's the one that was the best stopping point, if we were going to stop. Fireforge. Spirit Forge. Oh, is this one a little more extensive? A little bit. And the E3 demo. This is, I think, really cool. It's like the entire script. Yeah, the ending of Soul Reaver 2, not as much as Soul Reaver 1, it's still very much a sequel hook. I feel like a majority of this is Soul Reaver 2 specific. Oh no, that straight up says Defiance. And that is probably, that is absolutely Vorador's mansion, so that's gotta be Defiance as well. Renders. Seen that in a long time. Currently, I still have all of them on disc, except Defiance. I have Blood Omen and Soul Reaver on PS1, Soul Reaver 2 on PS2, and Blood Omen 2 on GameCube. Ninja, could you snooze that ad, please? That's Blood Omen 2. Alright, let's take a look at the E3 demo. This isn't what I remember. Let me snooze this ad. This isn't what I remember. Because I remember 2 demos? Being Malik sucks, yeah. Malik gets the shortest end of the stick. Yeah, I remember 2 demos. One was a Lighthouse demo, which was very short. And the other was... I believe it started with you in a pool. But this being a demo from E398 means this would have been at least like 9 months before the actual release of the game. This leads down to Melchiah. This switch is different. It just goes all the way down. Does demo actually straight up just have the Melchiah fight? No, it has the area for it. But the area is different. Good old demo discs. Reading magazines for any hint of like new information about a game you were interested in. Try to replicate that with modern gaming magazines. I pick up Retro Gamer mag. These Melchiah Spawn models are different. Yeah, I get Retro Gamer mag, and it can't be the same because it's covering old games. But reading magazine articles is, like, it's just a nice thing to spend some time doing. I don't have my old magazines anymore. I do have, however, PDFs of the entire run of Superplay magazine, which was an unofficial Super Nintendo magazine at the time, which evolved into N64 magazine, which I don't have the complete run of, which evolved into NGC magazine, which I do have the complete run of, and I read at the time. So I was actually real happy to get that, because I was like, I want to reread some of these old NGC magazines I used to have. And I was able to find a full collection of them, plus a full collection of other games, like what they'd done before that. That's really nice. And I still don't read them as much as I'd like. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's snooze this ad one more time, and I think we'll end watching the trailer for Soul Reaver 2.
You nearly had me, Raziel.
Do what you have to do.
I know you're there, Raziel.
These were the pillars so familiar to my blighted eyes.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time-span soul. Welcome to your destiny.
That trailer absolutely exists for somebody who is already interested in the game. Probably having played the first one and being like, I want to see what the new one looks like. Because that offered like no story details to get somebody new interested. I think if you go back and watch a lot of trailers from the time, they generally weren't. Like, it was usually just about seeing what the new game looked like and trying to piece together what new gameplay features might be there. Like, you look at that and it's like, okay, it looks better than the first game, which it should, it's on PS2. There's a compass in the top left. Combat seems like there's more to it. That's kind of all you get from it. It's also hard to put yourself in the position of like watching that trailer and not having any access to the game, or even like any great access to the game. It's like this is all you've got for the next year. So it is hard to judge. I think at the time that would have probably gone down quite well. But it is on like the broad face of it, just more Soul Reaver is what's being presented to you. But that is going to do it for us today. Yeah, I remember that kind of thing. We should be back tomorrow with more Castlevania as we continue Lords of Shadow. And then I'm not sure when the next stream after that will be. And I'm not sure what we'll be doing. I don't think we're gonna jump straight into Soul Reaver 2. But I don't want to leave it too long before we do. Because I want people to still have like the plot fresh in their heads. For what it is, like, there's not much that needs to be remembered. I need to actually do Metal Wolf Chaos XD. I installed it and like I've just not touched it yet. So I should see about doing that. We'll see. It's probably going to be a case of like see what I feel like when it comes time to do the next stream. Maybe it'll be Soul Reaver 2. Probably won't be, but you never know. Oh yeah. I thank everyone for joining the stream. Really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Who do we have today? Ninja, Teak, Lim, Lino, and Skelly. Thank you so much for joining me and keeping me company. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Like I say, we're back tomorrow for Castlevania. We'll be continuing with Castlevania Lodge. It was good to have you here, Skelly. Thank you so much for dropping in. But yeah, with that, there's not really anything else to say except thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day. Yeah. Catch you next time, guys. Bye.